7 amazing people that you didn't know existed. Sajad Garibi. One look at Sajad Garibi and you are bound to draw references with a certain Marvel comic superhero. Any guesses who it could be? Well, Hulk. Who else? Sajad Garibi from Bushehr, Iran is a massive person with more muscles than most of us can collectively have. Well, turns out this Persian heavyweight champion is actually quite famous with over 500k people following him on social media. His huge body, he claims, is all of 386 pounds. Over time, he has expressed his desire to either serve the army of his country or join a professional wrestling ring. Tom Stanford. Most of us struggle to lose weight and look down upon our body, due to various reasons. A common disappointing factor in dealing with our bodies is the cellulite, though. Now what if we told you there exists someone whose problems are exactly the opposite as yours? Tom Stanford is one of the 8 people in the world to suffer from MDP syndrome. MDP syndrome translates to mandibular hypoplasia, deafness and progeroid features. This is an acute disease that affects the metabolism of the individual along with ensuring fat storing stops from under the skin, including the soles of the feet. This literally means that Stanford's body does hold any sort of fat, but this was not the case until the age of 12. Until he was a teenager, Stanford was just fine and possessed normal metabolism. However, things started to go south soon after. He today has only 40% muscles like that of an average man and has also compromised hearing abilities due to his ailment. Stanford relies on hearing aid for help. The cruel irony of his life is that due to his conditions, there are a bunch of other woes that he has to deal with. He is inflicted with type 2 diabetes since due to irregular distribution, his body has fat levels that are as high as a clinically obese person. However, he never let his condition affect his life majorly. He is a law graduate and is already a champion of the paracycling circuit race of Great Britain. He was crowned a winner in 2011. Michelle Kobe. Every heard of the perfect body? Well, this woman is almost there, but at what cost? Michelle Kobe's waist is a mere 16 inches wide. Yes. You heard that right. She literally shrunk her waist size from 25 inches to 16 inches in a span of 3 years, and she did this through intensive dieting and corset wearing. Kobe would wear her super tight corsets for the whole day, through those 3 whole years. She became so determined to lose those inches that she overlooked what it was doing to her body. This 28-year-old, Berlin-based woman literally started gasping for breath and started showing major digestive problems. But her dreams were soaring high and she wanted to defeat her idol, an American called Kathy Young, who currently holds the world title for the world's tiniest midriff at 15 inches. While Kobe was always blessed with a perfectly feminine figure, she wanted more and was determined to achieve it any which way. Even though doctors have warned her against it, but she just does not pay heed. Muhaji. Muhaji is the dirtiest man alive. As gross as it sounds, his story is extraordinary and filthy. This 85-year-old resident of Dizga village, Iran, hasn't showered for the last 65 years. One sight of him is bound to remind you of one of those scary beasts or trolls from fantasy films, but this is reality and Muhaji really does exist. He leads a fairly primitive life and is accompanied by his closest accomplice, a steel pipe which is about 3 inches long. He uses this pipe to smoke animal dung instead of tobacco. People who have seen him claim his skin is scaly and muddy and one can barely see his eyes. His hair is matted dirty and one can only imagine how he would smell like. Wang Fang. Wang Fang is a Chinese waitress who shot to fame for a rare medical condition, and that is that her feet are reversed. Have you seen spooky movies with these kind of references? Well, imagine something as spooky as this actually happened right next to you. Wang Fang is 34 years old and has had this abnormality since her birth. Doctors claim it is due to some sort of impairment before her birth itself. However, this is no reason for Wang Fang to stop in the race of life. In fact, she uses this to her advantage and walks and runs faster than most of her peers. She puts her shoes backwards and is found easily going about most of her life chores with finesse. She can easily put people with regular feet to shame. Jerkery bracho blequit. Jerkery bracho blequit is a young woman from Florida who is trying to spook the world with her weird tongue. Her tongue is so long that she can literally do the weirdest tricks with it. From touching her elbows to rolling it in completely, touching earlobe as well as licking her own eyelids. She is currently competing for the Guinness Book of World Records for having the longest tongue, and she is well equipped to lick anyone who gets in her way, straight out of the competition. The current holder of the world record is Nick Stobel, whose tongue measures 3.97 inches long. Jerkery claims that her tongue is 4.48 inches, which if verified will definitely make her one of the craziest entries in this book of world records. Olivier Richters. Olivier Richters is a Dutch bodybuilder who is best known as the Dutch Gentle Giant. He is the world's tallest bodybuilder with a staggering height of 7 feet 2 inches. He weighs over 298 pounds and is quite a shocker when you first meet him. For the longest time, Richters was limited physically by a lot of birth defects. One of it was his small, inverted heart. When he was born, his heart was literally 20% smaller than the average size and was also rotated at a weird angle. While he did work hard enough to transform his body and personality, a lot also has to be credited to sheer good luck. In fact, to overcome his birth defects, Olivier started working out and creating a good physique. Over time, he became one of the most popular bodybuilders in the world, and he towers well above big names in the industry like Jay Cutler, Martin Ford, etc. He owns his own muscle food and meat company, which a very lucrative business. He also hopes to make it to one of the larger wrestling rings like those of WWE run by Vince McMahon. Sometimes, he has also expressed his desire to become an actor. All of 7.2 feet, this guy sure has big dreams.